That's the real world, Matchbox 20. And in the real world, I love human cultures. I love human cultures. I really do. I love authentic cooking and authentic costumes from all the cultures on the planet. I just wanted to say that because when I talk to people, I don't always put that across. I don't really put it across at all. And, a couple of occasions today, I just felt like I just wanted to get it out there that I really love different kinds of cultures. And, if we're going to have a whole new world, some of the things that we want to keep from this world are these cultural treasures. I sometimes run into people who, I put down, you just don't get me. And why is it that they don't get me? Well, because sometimes people are attached to their culture so totally that they don't want to let anybody else in. So it's mostly when I'm thinking about people and their race. Their race. And races have cultures associated with them. But some people are, someone says, misappropriating their culture. Yes, they're misappropriating the culture to justify racism. In other words, if you're the wrong color skin, you can't get dressed up in a traditional costume of my color skin's culture. And, my race was here on this land before your race came as a settler. Therefore, you should go back to where you came from. Or I'm a settler race, but I got here before your settler race got here. So, I have more rights to this land than you do. One of my friends says, that's it. That's all I want to say. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to say. Someone accused me of being a socialist because I want to scrap capitalism. And this is a fairly common response that I see because It's like you're not allowed to say the words these people. It's like a racist thing to say these people because you're grouping. No, it's not really a group. It's just those kind of people. I mean, why is it that we have to be politically correct or we can't say these people or those people? And as you say that, it sounds racist. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just, in English, it's hard to talk around, people who have got this attitude. So what was I talking about? These people. The people that think if I want to scrap capitalism, I must be either a socialist or a communist, or maybe an anarchist. And then I want to say to these people, you don't know me. I don't think it really works when I say you don't know me. That usually gets ignored, but it's true. Someone says I'm guilty, not so much. Someone says I'm guilty because someone tells me they're enlightened. And I look at their posting and I say, that's not an enlightened post. That's very 3D. And then they got all upset about me. But it's true. I mean, sometimes I make posts that appear to be rants. Is that enlightened? Someone might say, someone that's doing a rant, is not really enlightened. I don't know. Usually when I do these rants, I used to do a lot of them when I was in a character. I would do a character who was ranting, but sometimes I just find, this body rants and, I don't attribute it to any particular cosmic character. Do I have different views on the subjects? Well, some of my cosmic characters might portray a different view to try and clear the mud a little bit about what I'm all about. But I was telling this person who said, oh, well, if you're wanting to scrap capitalism, you must be a socialist. And, Venezuela and Cuba, the people don't like it there. Well, this is always the polarity of left-wing and right-wing politics. And I still see, I don't even want to go there when I see these kind of postings, because that's what it's either, in the States, it's your Democrat or your Republican, never will the two meet. In Canada, it's conservative or liberal. And it's incorrect because I'm not in that kind of polarity. I'm in something different altogether. I agree. If you look at the history of socialism and communism, communism was a grand failure in the Soviet Union. Socialism still uses capitalism. In other words, they still use money. In like socialist countries, still use money. They still use banks. So, are they that much different than capitalism if they're using lending institutions, interest rates, taxation, and money? No. In those kind of socialist states, maybe they have higher taxes and they have some, government provided services. But no, I mean, I don't want that neither. Just so you know, I don't want that. Why? Because it's really, I call it 3D, but it's monkey mind designed. Monkey mind designed, which is, monkey see, monkey do. So last week, I joined 2 economics Facebook groups because I wanted to post some stuff for these people. And as soon as I got in there, it brought me back to when I was 23. When I was 23, I took a couple of courses in economics. And, what's changed since I was 23? Nothing. It's the same economics. And that's what I'm looking at when I see people talking about either I'm a capitalist or I'm a socialist. I don't see too many communists, and I don't see too many anarchists, but I know they're around. But these are political economy philosophies that have been around for a hell of a long time. And well, someone might say anarchy hasn't really been tried. I think it's still 3D because it's still all about this is how it works. And, there's been certain people who have written about it, and, it's hardened into the theology. I mean, it's become a religion, right? Capitalism is a religion. Socialism, communism, anarchy are all religions. Because it's all organized. The anarchist might say something differently on this one. But the other ones are all organized external to you. In other words, how are our countries organized now? Well, we have to talk externally to one another, and it's all has to be organized by a government. And the economy's got to be organized by, like the Federal Reserve and the capital markets on Wall Street. It's all external. Anarchy, well, real anarchists scare people. Why do they scare people? Mostly because people's idea of an anarchy is people throwing Molotov cocktails at demonstrations. You know what a Molotov cocktail is? You take an empty beer bottle, you fill it with gasoline, you stick some cloth in the top and light it on fire, light the cloth on fire, and you throw it at something and you have an explosive bomb. And that's what people's idea of what anarchists are, that they're, they're highly dangerous. So true anarchy, a true anarchist is going to say, no, those kind of people aren't anarchists. Those people are hooligans. But anarchy is tinged with this idea of hooliganism. So, you might need to repackage it and call it something else. But it's still very 3D because it's all about me. My ego mind doesn't want to play the communist, capitalist, socialist game. I want to play my own ego game. And it's basically, I want... and I don't care about you. In other words, just stay the hell away from me. So it's still about ego, anarchy. It's my ego wants to go my own way and just get the hell out of my way. Don't bother me. I don't want restrictions. What's wrong with that? Well, if every 7 of the 7 billion people on the planet wanted to go and let their egos run free, well, I think they'll be fighting in the streets because, everyone wants to claim this patch of land is mine and, my gun is mine, my ammunition is mine. Whatever I'm doing on my land is mine, and I'm going to do it my way. It just seems like, it's maybe it's organized for you, but it's not organized among all the people. So it's disorder. And that's why people think that anarchy is about throwing Molotov cocktails. A true anarchist might say, you don't have it right, but that is the public perception of the word anarchy, and I think I've covered it. So what am I proposing? My proposal is that we reorganize, and we will be organized together. We're not going to have money. We're not going to have banks. We're not going to have interest rates. We're not going to have Wall Street, and we're not going to have governments. Well, what's going to replace it? We're going to use what James Lovelock called Gaia, or the global brain. What is the global brain? The global brain is the global brain. Okay, some people have given me some ideas. They say, well, it's higher mind. In other words, if you demote your ego to serving the higher mind, someone else said it's enlightenment. The reasons I don't want to use these words is because they're words. And just like when I talked about anarchy, when I say higher mind, enlightenment, or even when I say James Lovelock and Gaia, all of these words have got meanings to them. And someone says it's restrictive. It's somewhat restrictive because you've got the meaning that you've associated with this word, and it might not be correct, or it might be not wholly inclusive of everything. And so it gives people a reason to say, I don't want to go there. I don't like that word. Someone might say, well, you don't like the word capitalism. It's not the word capitalism. It's the system. It's the religion of capitalism. So someone wants to use another. No, I'm not going to use that. It is simply organization of humans. Someone says it's hive mind. Kind of. Oh, dear. It's Borg. You know, from Star Trek, it's Borg. No. Because this kind of mind, you don't need implants like the people that are assimilated by the Borg. Why? Because you already have the technology with you when you were born as a baby. It's already built in technology, built into the human being. Okay, someone says okay. And why aren't we using it? Primarily because we have all these external religions like capitalism and communism, and they are the things that overrule the built-in technology that you have. Someone says it's the matrix. Some people call it the matrix, yes. Some people call it these external things that make you do what you do, the matrix. So that gives you a hint. What you're internally guided to do, but not ego. What's the difference between when I said earlier an anarchist who is running on their ego and what I'm talking about now? What I'm talking about now doesn't have ego traits associated with it. What are the ego traits? Ego traits are I'm in it for me. And, you know, if I make a big pot full of money, I'm going to distribute all the money and all of my land and all of my possessions to who the hell I want via my will. If I can't take it with me, then I'm going to decide who gets, you know, my stuff. Ego is all about my stuff. It's me. The opposite is if you were looking at things and you said, everything that happens here on the planet is done by the Creator. Well, that sounds like a God religion. And people have problems with God religions because, okay, well, let's call it, instead of religion, which is all external churches, external to you priests, external to you lay people that are talking about joining their religious group at a church or a synagogue or a temple. A spiritual person doesn't go to churches, temples, except some of them might. But the spiritual person is driven by something internally that's not the ego. How do you get to be one of these spiritual people? You've got to deprogram yourself because everyone on this planet is brainwashed to join the Matrix. So, yes, you are going to be kind of like Trinity or Morpheus or Neo escaping the Matrix. That Matrix movie, it's sort of, it's polluted. It's very polluted. Why is it polluted? Endless fight scenes. That's not what I'm talking about. We don't need to go through a great fight against the artificial intelligence or whatever. We don't need to fight at all. What do you need to do? Disengage from, it's hard to disengage from the existing realm. Someone says, be moment to moment. How do you get attached? Mostly you have to learn to say no. Isn't that ego that says no? No, you have to say no because there are so many needy people that want you to serve their ego.